Alrighty, guys, we're back. Happy Monday. It's your boy Stas here. Of course, got my good old double espresso as always, right? Cheers. Listen, man, we have a lot to cover today. Stocks are moving. I just locked in profits on a trade, and well, I'm eyeing up a couple other stocks. So, guys, hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe. Join my Patreon if you want to keep up with my portfolio updates, my trades, investments. If you want to be a part of my private Discord, all that's linked down below, pinned in the comments, or go to stassurfest.com/Patreon. And now, cheers again, guys. Let's dive into it. So it's about, 11:20, almost noon here on the East Coast, and every index but the Russell is in the green, guys. The S&P is currently up over 1%. The Qs are up, let's see here, guys, about 1.3. The Dow's up just about 0.4%, as the Russell, you guessed it, is down just about 1%. And guys, we can't get too mad about the Russell being down, considering it just hit all-time highs a couple of days ago. We hit 30,000, or not 30,000, geez, 3,000 points. 30,000 would be nuts, right? 3,000 points on the Russell. And by the way, the Dow just hit all-time highs 2 days ago as well. We hit 52,600, and the Qs are well on their way. Same with the S&P 500. And look, it's been the same playbook day after day, well, week after week at this point, right? We're now hearing between the U.S. and Iran that talks are resuming, the ceasefire is resuming, and it's the same playbook, right? During the weekend, it's back and forth, boom, 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 back and forth when the markets close. Then come Monday, again, it's, the talks are resuming, ceasefire's back on, and do you guys not see what's happening here? It's all about the market. You know what I mean? The market plays a big role here. A lot of the back and forth happens during the weekend when the market's closed. And we've seen this happen time and time again over the last couple of weeks. And it's the same thing this weekend, right? This weekend, there was a lot of back and forth after that MOU was signed. And now we're hearing, again, the ceasefire, is back, right? Or we're hearing about fresh talks, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. It's the same thing. And at this point, the market is almost immune to what's going on in the Middle East. That's the reality, right? But yeah, we're up across the board except for the Russell. And I locked in some gains on a trade here, guys. So we might as well dive into that right now. Do you guys remember I bought calls on Affirm, ticker AFRM? I bought the $70 calls about 2 weeks ago that expire in December. Well, I locked in profits on that trade. I bought those calls at about $17.30 per contract, and I sold it at $21.15, I believe I got filled. Let me double check my post here in Patreon, as again, I post all these trades in real time on Patreon. Yeah, I bought the contracts at $17.32, and I sold them at $21.15, making a nice, juicy profit in less than 2 weeks. So the whole idea here with Affirm was that we had a clear-cut cup and handle in the making. I got in those call options when the stock was at 75 a share. Then it actually pulled back to about 70. I almost doubled down. I should have now, looking back with the benefit of hindsight, but I didn't. I held through, and now we're seeing the cup and handle pretty much play out. And look, could Affirm go higher? Of course it could go higher, but I'm more of a conservative trader, hence why I pick expiration dates that are far in advance. In this case, I bought the December 18th, calls, $70 calls, so I pick far in advance expiration dates, and when I'm buying calls, I'm usually buying close to the money or in the money calls. In this case, when I bought the calls, the stock was at 75, and I bought the $70 strike. So I bought in the money, and again, I just locked in the profits just before this video when the stock was at $81 a share, and now it's actually creeping down to about $80. So that is the move I made today. Locked in the profits. You guys gotta love when a Monday starts off with you locking in gains. And again, this could go higher, but I'm cool with taking the quick game with where it is now, right? And I think, yeah, I mean, it could go higher, but at the same time, it has run a lot. Affirm's been up in a straight line pretty much since the 11th of June. We hit 62 bucks on the 11th of June. Now about 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, we're up 30% and we're at 80 bucks a share. So for me, I'm cool locking in profits here. I'm happy with it. And you guys know the saying, nobody ever went broke locking in profits. So that's the first thing that I did today. I locked in my gains on Affirm. And look at Amazon, guys. We actually bought some Amazon on, was that Friday? At 228. Now Amazon's at 242, man. Up another 4% on the day after being hit way too much, I think, over the last couple of weeks. And by no means is Amazon breaking out. Look, it's still under this downtrend, still under the 180 SMA. Keep that in mind. But it is seeing a nice relief rally after, again, it got down to 225 last week, which we talked about. That's a buy range, in my opinion, for Amazon. And this channel here, between 220 to 235, that's a buy window. That's a buy range. And I put my money where my mouth is. It got there, and I bought some more shares. And here it is now spiking up. But hey, I wouldn't be surprised if it trickled down again. And guess what? I'm ready to buy even more stock, even more shares. And this is a long-term position, guys. For all of you that maybe don't know, it is my biggest position at this point, and I'm adding more to it. And I'm excited to, as it is, again, a long-term stock, and I think it's going a lot higher over time. So Amazon looking great after our buy last week. Affirm, phenomenal, locked in gains there. And Palantir starting to creep up here, guys, up around 3%. After we started buying Palantir last week for the first time in months. I mean, probably almost a year. I can't remember the last time I bought Palantir stock. And ever since it took out this 125 support, ever since this descending triangle played out, I've been all eyes on Palantir, you know, and it got way too oversold, man. When it got down to 105, I bought some at 109. I bought some at 117. And look, I'm looking to add more, but I'm being patient with it as we are seeing a nice relief rally here, which, to be honest, might have some more legs, more room to run. I think this relief rally could bring us up to 120, 125 at least in the short term. And speaking of software stocks, a lot of these are looking great this week, this Monday to start the week. And am I surprised? No. Do we not talk about this over the last couple of long form videos here? I mentioned to you guys, look, software stocks are getting way too beaten up. And if we've seen, or if we've gathered any info from this year, we know that when software stocks get very beaten up, and any stock for that matter, but specifically these software stocks, they've all been downtrending all year. When they get too beaten up, they set up beautifully for nice relief rallies, and I think that's what we're getting now. And I think these rallies, could have legs, not just Palantir stock, but I think ServiceNow. I mean, look at this. It's up over 3%. We're seeing Toast running almost to 30 bucks. I mean, look, do I have to get my eyes checked? Toast is almost back to $30 a share. We have stocks like, what else in the software space? CRM's moving, not much, but it's still up. But yeah, man, a lot of these stocks are moving. Adobe's up. I'm not surprised. And by the way, look at Toast here, man. It's about to see this cup and handle play out. I think if Toast takes out 28.50 right by the highs from the beginning of this month, I think Toast is gearing up for a move back to 30, and dare I say over 30. It's been a long time coming, and by no means is Toast breaking out of the downtrend yet, guys, but it might be getting there. It could be getting close. So I like the way the market's shaping up today. Not every stock's up. I mean, look, we have memory taking a beat down today. We're seeing Micron's down almost 5%. Stocks like SanDisk, right? If I pull it up, SNDK down about 7%. Stocks like, well, ETFs like DRAM down about 4%. But keep in mind, all these are still holding up trends. The charts still look great. I mean, if you want to buy into memory and you don't want to pick an individual stock, DRAM is still a great pick. I mean, we initially called this thing out a couple weeks ago when it was at 45 a share. Now it's at $70. You know, it just hit 81 a couple days ago, about a week ago. So I think, honestly, man, this chart looks great. I think DRAM, if you want to start DCAing in, you can make a serious case. Now's the time to do so. I like the way the chart looks on DRAM and Micron, of course, and SanDisk. And by the way, SanDisk has earnings coming up. So keep in mind, you know, charts still look great. These stocks ran up like crazy. They're just cooling off, right? We're seeing a nice cool off, a pullback, especially in Micron after record earnings. It makes sense, right? And I think buyers will start stepping in, whether it's at 950, 1,000, 1,050. That's just my opinion, right? So for me, guys, look, I'm not in Micron right now. I did lock in my profits, but I'm potentially looking to re-enter, whether it's Micron or DRAM or SanDisk. I'm eyeing up all these stocks and ETFs at this point. And let's see, what else? What else is moving here today, guys? By the way, hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe. I appreciate you all for tuning in. I believe 50% of you guys, at least on YouTube, watch the content, but you're not hitting subscribe, and we're almost at 70K subs, guys. I appreciate you all for tuning in. Make sure you all subscribe. We have stocks like Crowdstrike going berserk right now, heading into that 4-for-1 stock split early in July, which I'm not surprised. I mean, look, Crowdstrike, we talked about it. The stock pulled back from 810 to about 615 after good earnings. And look, it got way too hot. It needed to cool off. They announced that 4-for-1 stock split. Now we're getting a lot of buyers to come in. Not because the stock's going to get cheaper, but it will look less expensive on paper, right? The actual share price, and that's going to bring in a lot more retail investors. It could drive the volume higher. It could drive the stock higher, potentially, you know? And I think if Micron does a stock split, which they should eventually, I mean, I guess SanDisk hasn't done one yet, and they're at 2,000 a share, whatever they're at. So I guess Micron's not going to do one yet, but eventually, if and when Micron does a stock split, I think retail is going to go nuts and buy the stock up. That's just my opinion. Even though it doesn't make the stock cheaper, it just looks cheaper on paper. So what do you guys think, man? Happy Monday. It's been a nice start to the week. Again, I locked in profits on Affirm, raising some cash that I'm looking to put to work here. And Amazon's moving. I love it. You know, Tesla's pushing 400, which I almost bought more Tesla at 375. I probably should have, but that's pushing back to 400. You know, a lot of stocks are moving, and yeah, I'm eyeing up the next trade. What do you guys think? Follow along for more. Hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe. Join my Patreon if you want to keep up with my actual portfolio updates, all my trades in real time. And if you want to be a part of my private Discord, that's linked down below, pinned in the comments, or go to stotsurfest.com/Patreon. And with that being said, cheers. I'll see you guys in the Patreon or in the next video.